Mad about it, Ben?
We'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Bowman here, Laporte excused, Patterson.
Here.
Frazier.
Here.
Addie.
Here.
Rush.
Here.
Honey.
Here.
Okay. Approve agenda.
So moved. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. All right, we have presentation, Ethan Euler with
Sensei.
Sensei to provide an update to speak about services renewal occurring next month.
Yeah, well, thank you all for having me here today. My name is Ethan Euler. I'm a cyber risk advocate with Sensei, and I'm just here to provide a quick status update for the cybersecurity program for Sumpter Township, all right? So before I begin, our cybersecurity program is based on something that we call the Sensei score, and that is a cyber health evaluation that, once completed, we provide a score from 0 to 1,000. We like to compare that to a credit score, but for your organization's cyber health. And that's all context for our partnership here together. 2 years ago when we started the partnership, Sumpter scored a 590, and today I'm happy to present that Sumpter Township has a Sensei score of 853. That's something to be extremely proud of, and that's due to the work of everybody in this room, and especially Melissa Paquette, Mr. Burdick here, and of course the Township Manager, Ken Martin. But really just to provide some context as to what we've done over the last year and why a proactive cybersecurity approach is important is because 90% of cyber attacks are caused by human error. That can be reduced from a proactive cybersecurity program with the implementation of training videos, phishing simulated attacks, best practice cybersecurity policies, and alerting your staff of when software and hardware updates need to be available. And those are all services that Sensei does provide for you. So we can say that Sumpter's staff is educated and tested on a regular basis, which means that if we flip that statistic around, 90% of cyber attacks can be avoided with a proactive cybersecurity approach, which is what Sensei and Sumpter Township has in place for their cybersecurity program. One big accomplishment that we did over the last year is an internal penetration test. And so we worked with your MSP, ETS, especially Tyler Berta, who's been amazing to work with, and conducted an internal penetration test within Sumpter's network to identify any vulnerabilities and really try and exploit those. So I did review the results with Melissa Paquette and Tyler Berta, and we have a plan in place to remediate the vulnerabilities found. That should be happening within the next month. But ultimately, you all have a really mature cybersecurity program, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with the Sumpter Township team. But one thing that I would want to leave you with is to conduct a tabletop exercise. And what that would be is a practice run through the cybersecurity incident response plan that you have. The reason why that would be something that we do recommend is because we don't want the first time that you exercise that cybersecurity incident response plan to be during a cyber attack, right? And let me even take a step back. What a cybersecurity incident response plan is a step-by-step guide for you to use in the event of an incident. So that is something that I would just recommend thinking about. Ultimately, let me just take a step back, answer any questions that you all have, but really Sumpter Township has been doing a great job for your cybersecurity program, and I have really thoroughly enjoyed working with all of you. But are there any questions that I can answer for the cybersecurity program? Over at
Sure.
Sensei. Yeah,
I
of course.
have no questions, but
Yeah.
just like more of a compliment from my perspective. Like, number one, I've called and contacted David, yourself, anybody. Like, you guys have always been very quick. If you don't pick up the phone immediately, you call back immediately. The online tutorials, they've been great. I like the report that I was gotten
Yep.
about like a month ago to find out. It's kind of like somewhat intentionally like, let me lag a little bit behind and see what my score comes
Yep.
back at. So I like that so that we can start encouraging all the employees to get caught up and up to date on everything like that.
Yeah.
Did you send us the step-by-step guide you're talking about for, was that, I know it's something that's gonna be proposed, but,
Yeah, for the cybersecurity incident
Right,
response plan?
yep.
Yeah, so we have that plan available for you. That's on the Sensei platform. But Treasurer Patterson, I'd be happy to send that to you in an email right after this meeting.
if you could, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But any other questions on the specifics of the cybersecurity program?
Nope.
No? All right, awesome. Well, let me just say thank you all for giving me the opportunity to present. I would specifically want to call out Treasurer Patterson, Trustee Rush, Township Manager Ken Martin, and Melissa Paquette have just been amazing partners to work with. So thank you for your leadership, support, and assistance in really getting Sumpter to where you are currently today with your cybersecurity program. But we are at renewal time for Sensei. So what I will do is I'll work with Treasurer Patterson, you and Ken Martin to submit that renewal for board review and approval. And myself and David Bean, the co-founder and chief strategy officer, and I will be present next meeting to answer any questions that you all may have. All right?
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
excellent.
it.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Okay, presentation, John Johnson of the Acrisure to provide information about public entity insurance.
Good evening. John Johnson with Acrisure. Came out to do our annual review of the property and liability insurance. So I believe Samantha had passed out some packets that I had brought along with me. Within the folders there's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 different deliverables. The main one that I'll focus on is going to be the thicker packet, which is the actual property and liability renewal itself. Behind that packet is the cyber liability policy. Sounds like you guys got cyber pretty well handled right now, but if there was a situation that system or that program did not cover and we had to file an incident or a claim, that would be covered by this policy. And then on the left side of the folders there, I provided some information, and this may be just a bit of a refresher, but some information on the Power Plans Risk Reduction Grant. I know we've talked about that quite a bit in the past. And behind that packet, some additional, what they call their member benefits that the Power Plan offers its members, specifically a water sensor program. I can't recall if the township has enrolled in this program or not. If you haven't, essentially the Power Plan has partnered with a company that sells the monitors that you can put throughout your facilities. If there is a water incident, it will trigger those sensors. It will notify the township, hey, you have a leak in this building. Go turn the water off and hopefully avoid a property claim there. That whole program is free of charge, and again, if you haven't enrolled in that yet, I can assist with getting the township enrolled in that program. A few additional member benefits. Muni Fleet, which is a auto monitoring and tracking service available to municipalities to monitor your fleet. We have seen that has had great results in lowering auto claims. Of course, some claims are unavoidable, but what they've seen is through that tracking system, it does seem to help lower auto claims, especially with driving incidents, high-speed situations, and things like that. Next is Lexipol program, which members of the Power Plan do receive a discount on. And then lastly, HR Muni, which is an HR portal and service available to townships if you ever have any HR needs, concerns that you'd like a second opinion on. So just a brief overview of some of those deliverables. But again, I'll spend the most of my time on the actual renewal proposal. And first few pages there are pretty much just information that I have just covered. So I'll skip forward to what I'll call the quote portion of the packet there. We do have a April 1st renewal date, so we're just getting close to your 2026-2027 policy term. And for the most part, there's not going to be any significant changes in coverage. Again, just do a brief highlight and then answer any questions that you may have. as we go through this, this renewal. So, of course, general liability is your premises and operations coverage. No changes here, but we do have a per occurrence limit with no aggregate and no deductible specific to general liability claims. That would be essentially every claim or every incident you have a fresh limit available to you. Next, you'll see cyber liability. It does state no coverage. That's through the Power Plans package. Of course, we have that policy currently written elsewhere. Liquor liability, which would also include special events liability and fireworks liability. Those are all obviously unique exposures that if the township has a need for, we can implement coverage for those exposures at any point. Wrongful acts liability is, of course, the board's coverage for the decisions and actions you take and make on behalf of the township. You'll see we have that same per occurrence limit as the general liability section there. We do have a deductible specific to wrongful acts claims. Next, we have law enforcement liability. Again, same limit there, same deductible as the wrongful acts. And although it's on the next page, we do have automobile liability as well. So that would be, as always, primary for any township-owned vehicle. It will work coordinated with any employee's personal auto insurance if employees are using their personal vehicles for township-related driving specific to liability. As far as property coverage goes, I don't believe there are any significant additions to the property schedule this renewal, but currently we have just over $20 million in TIV, total insured value, specific to properties and contents. That will not include vehicles and that will not include equipment, which is covered in another section here. We do have a pretty long list of extensions of that property coverage. All of those extensions are going to be in addition to the actual physical coverage to your properties and contents, supplemental possible expenses for property claims such as debris removal. You'll see everything from newly acquired property, property in transit, so on and so forth. Currently on our auto schedule, we have a schedule of 39 vehicles, and then we'll get to the actual schedules here in just a minute. Inland Marine is the mobile equipment, and again, we have a pretty extensive list of scheduled items within this section of the policy, totaling just over $2 million of inland marine coverage or mobile equipment. And then in addition to the mobile equipment, we do have some blanket coverage for EDP, electronic data processing coverage, which is kind of blanket coverage for tech items, computers, printers, phones, anything that's not specifically scheduled under your inland marine section. And then lastly, we have crime coverage that relates to township funds and financing. You'll see different definitions listed for things like theft, mysterious disappearance. There's some employee dishonesty coverage, which is kind of blanket bonding coverage. And then in addition to the crime coverage, we do have, I believe, 6 or 7 position bonds for different positions at the township. Generally, that's going to be treasurer, deputy treasurer, clerk, deputy clerk, and then a few additional positions if needed. On the next few pages, you'll see our actual property schedule. So all of the different structures and addresses listed and contents for many of those structures as well. Over the last few years, many of these properties have been reappraised by the carrier, updating the price per square foot figure in an attempt to kind of make sure they're properly insured for today's replacement cost valuation. Then the next, I believe, 3 pages is our automobile schedule. We did have one addition to the schedule that occurred midterm last year. I believe that's the 2024 West Shore pumper. So you'll see that on the next page. That is vehicle 48. So that was a midterm change last year. And then again, the next few pages are the scheduled items under the inland marine section. So you'll see clearly a very extensive schedule there. One thing I know we had briefly discussed last year specific to the inland marine schedule was that within the current policy and current program, the way the inland marine coverage works is anything valued essentially over $25,000 is required to be specifically scheduled. Anything under that threshold can be covered under blanket coverage, what we would call either miscellaneous township property and equipment or ancillary fire and emergency equipment. And so, obviously a very extensive schedule there, but as you go through that schedule, you will see we have a number of items that would fall under that $25,000 threshold. If it would help for simplicity in future renewals, we could pull out a number of these items that are specifically scheduled and just blanket them into one, essentially bucket or coverage, either miscellaneous township equipment or ancillary equipment. And that might save your office some time in the future if you are, either updating equipment throughout the year or getting rid of old equipment and buying new equipment, so on and so forth. And then that would simplify the schedule a bit as well. So I just wanted to highlight that in case that was something that you'd be interested in. But the rating does not change. So whether we have these items specifically scheduled or if we bucket them under miscellaneous or ancillary equipment, assuming we have the same total value of equipment scheduled, the rating would not change. So just wanted to highlight that. I think a couple minor adjustments, again, that happened midterm last year to the inland marine schedule was we added some playground equipment, I believe the playscape, and a few other items related to that addition at one of the parks. Since there weren't any significant changes in the coverage from last year to this year, I wanted to go through that fairly briefly because I know we cover most of these items every year, but I wanted to leave enough time for any questions that may have come up either on the policy itself or coverage-related questions that we need to discuss. So is there anything I can answer? Yes.
Quick question. Back on the water sensors, the monitors you're talking about, like, are those like standalone, or are they monitored, or?
So
tied into
the monitors themselves are or they do patch in cellular service.
Okay.
And so that service is included in the program, so there's no expense to the township for that service, that monitoring. Of course, they have to be plugged in. I don't think they're battery powered. They might have backup battery in case your power goes out. But the monitors themselves would be delivered free of charge, and then the cellular service that they would have to connect to would be free of charge as well. It's my understanding that when you apply for that program, they'll ask you for a list of all of your facilities, and then they'll kind of work with you on determining how many of your facilities actually would benefit from having these sensors. Seems like many of our townships, when they enroll, they assume they're going to get 10 or 20 or 30 of these things, and it ends up being much less than you would anticipate. But we're still getting very positive feedback from that program already. I actually just had a library a week or two ago that called me and said, during that strong storm we had recently, one of their sensors went off while the library was closed. It was after hours. Right. They went down and they were able to kind of put up some sand barrier bags to prevent the water from getting into the library. So that's completely free of charge, and if I can help you guys get set up with that, I'd strongly
100%,
encourage that.
And
Yeah.
Free is better than half price, from what I heard too.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So you can maybe get with our township manager on that. That'd be great. Just
Okay.
like to at least explore that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thanks.
Other questions?
Any questions?
I had one question. I wanted to get, I didn't see the comparison of price year over year. So just since we're talking budgets tonight,
Yep.
if you can tell me what the increase is year over year. I know you said the coverages didn't change, but
Yep.
I know obviously there's.
So the expiring premium was different than the renewal last year due to those few midterm endorsements. I believe the expiring premium was approximately, I had that note here because I knew that was going to come up. Bear with me here for a second. Expiring premium was $170,868. Those increases from the renewal were due to primarily the auto vehicle being added. So the renewal at this year of $195,098 came out to about 14% increase based off the expiring. That increase is pretty standard for what we're seeing right now in the market. We did have a few minor claims that had been submitted since last renewal. Most of those incidents so far have not incurred much, if any, expense. There was one claim that did incur, a little bit more of an expense than what we had seen at the township in a few years prior to that. But the claims, I was told by my underwriter, did not really impact this year's rating as much as we maybe would have anticipated. It was more just a market rate increase. So I think that was reflected in your 5-year loss ratios that they look at. I know we talk about that quite a bit. They look at the 5-year rolling ratios. So although last year we did have a few more claims than we had seen prior to that, the 5-year ratios are still looking like they're in a spot where the carrier is comfortable not doing additional rate increase on top of what we're just seeing in the market. So.
Thank you.
No? Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Dan Huber?
How's everybody doing today? Good? Busy day. I just want to be up and ask you if you guys read the packets that I gave last on the 3/10/26 meeting. And did you refer them to anybody or review them and do an investigation with it? Or were you sitting with them? What I gave you, what?
Chair, at the last meeting, we asked you to get with the township manager and to sit down with him. I know you had talked to him previously, and, that was gonna be reviewed. There's nothing we can review. That has to be done through the township manager, through the building department, and to see what exactly you're asking them to review. Reviewing the package, would be vague. You'd have to, maybe
Right.
tell them exactly what you're asking them for so that they can produce something for you.
I apologize. I was under the impression that Mr. Martin was gonna get a hold of me, but it was the other way around, apparently.
Well, I assumed you'd both get connected.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I
waiting for
I
it.
know you turned in a package, but I guess, what we don't
Yeah, I get it.
understand is
I get it now.
what
I
are you looking
remember.
for, right? I mean,
I
what
get it.
exactly are you wanting us to review, and what are you asking us to provide to you?
I'll do that with Mr. Martin, correct? Okay, that's all. And they also brought out another report as of last Thursday. They raised it up. I don't know if you guys, Mr. Martin's aware of it, so I'll discuss that with him too.
I think Mr. Martin's gonna give us an update in his manager's report. He has regular conversations with.
EPA?
Yeah, with the EPA at site over there.
All right, I'll get with him then. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ray Harris.
Hi.
Look,
I came in tonight. I've been sitting in gratitude. I appreciate the cleanup of the blight. I did not know that. I'm glad to see that. I hope I still appreciate what you've done, because apparently you're gonna speak on that Sumpter property tonight. So it's a good thing I get to say this thank you before, because you might not say what I want to hear. So I'm saying thank you, Peterson. I appreciate you having a preacher come in. That helps some. I appreciate that too. But the reason for me coming was the blight on Sumpter Road, and that looks a whole lot better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
You're welcome.
But I'm not done. I'm representing the frogs right now, okay? The tree frogs. So there's some more to be done on that property. But now I want to hear what I want to hear what you guys are going to say. But I just wanted to get the thank you in before, because I might not like what you're going to say afterwards.
Okay, all right. We'll move along. Minutes. A, approve the regular board meeting minutes of March 10th, 2026.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Approve warrants of $1,119,304.42.
So moved with a roll call vote.
Support.
Okay, Bowman, yes. Laporte, excuse. Patterson.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Rush.
Yes.
Honey.
Yes.
Okay, motion, okay. Parks and Recreation Trustee Liaison Rush.
Thank you, Chair. Not a whole bunch to report. Things are moving along pretty smooth. Everybody's been assigned to their new positions on the committee. A shout out to the Easter egg hunt this weekend. Starts at 12 noon and runs through 2 o'clock. And it looks like Mother Nature might cooperate this year. We're supposed to get some pretty good rain Friday afternoon into the evening, but it's supposed to be clear on Saturday. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Jim. Julie's already gave her most of it. Yeah, okay, so we'll move on to water and sewer report. Tabor.
Well,
Chair, I
still
think we
need to
need a
vote on
motion to approve I'll make a motion to approve the Parks and Rec report. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Yep.
Good afternoon, board members. Good afternoon, township residents. I'll try to keep it quick. I know it's a long meeting. The water billing cash inflow for February 2026 was $405,527.26. This includes $11,685 in water taps, $250 miscellaneous, and $12,600 in capital benefit fees. In March, we billed for cycles 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9 for a total of $197,510. As far as going for the DPW, not a lot going on, just routine building maintenance. We had a boiler pump at the community center go down. We picked some parts up. Guys made a quick repair, fired it right back up. We trailered your new equipment that the residents and the board approved over to the park at Sherwood Benoti Park. And we continue brush hogging out along the roads there and along between the road and the lake or the pond. So now you can actually see the pond from the road all the way down the length of the park. Unfortunately, you can see a lot of old fencing that's rotting and falling over that we will be repairing or doing something with here shortly. The areas that were brush hogging, it's Russian olives that grew over. You know, we quit maintaining that area. We used to mow that, I guess, back in the day, and we kind of let it get away from us. So we basically are trying to capture it again. We brush hogged all the Russian olive down. There's a bunch of dead cottonwood trees in there we got rid of, and we're gonna rake it all up and put some seed in there and get it nice again and keep the mosquitoes out of there. It was flooded last year, so it's been dry all winter so far with that brush being gone. As far as the water crews, we had a leaking gate valve that one of the residents out there made aware to us, which we appreciate so much. The crews went out there, changed all the bonnet bolts and the top plate bolts and repaired the leak. And we had one car versus hydrant. It had a breakaway flange on it, which we were lucky, broke it off, didn't destroy the hydrant. We're working on a cost recovery on that with Van Buren PD. And the sewer, the Martinsville pump station, the repairs are scheduled to begin early in April, probably second week of April. Get that thing restored. And that's about all I got. If you guys got some questions, any questions for me?
Motion to accept the water and sewer report.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried.
Chair, I got a quick question. I mean, not to be Johnny Ruleboy or anything like that, but on 10, finance report, consider approval of fiscal year, but we had a public hearing, but we didn't really vote to,
It's on our agenda item. It's one of our agenda items.
we're gonna do that later on. then.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Township Manager's report, Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, Board of Trustees. Got a couple of things. I know we have a long meeting here, and then we have a closed session afterward, so I'll try to be brief. First item on my report is these seminars that I attended last week regarding data centers. The takeaway, if I can be brief about it, is that this is a good time to review your zoning ordinance and include any information or any requirements or standards that you'd like regarding data centers. Some communities have actually called for moratoriums, and I don't really feel that's necessary. We don't have some sort of pending project. I'm going to emphasize that to anybody that may be watching. Nobody has come to this township yet. No entity has come proposing a data center. But in the event that it happens, I think it would be a good idea to have our zoning ordinance modified to accommodate one of those facilities. Attorney Rob Young and I met with Carlisle Wortman today to discuss this prospect. And while there's always a cost when you employ a contractor to do something like this, I think it's necessary. And with the approval of this report, I would consider that to be an approval to go forward with the data center insertion into the zoning ordinance, which would probably involve tweaking or amending special land use, as well as what's zoned already in the township as industrial. You'll all see that progress as we move forward with that. I'm going to turn to page 3. Something, Mr. Supervisor, you don't even know about yet. Got an email today from the county asking if we could participate in a Zoom meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, you did? Okay. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. So I responded that I would be happy to do that.
Yeah, Karen was supposed to tell you that.
I was in a meeting.
You and I could do it at 10 o'clock in
Okay,
the morning.
all right. Well, good deal. That refers to the declaration of public safety emergency that you all had declared a couple of meetings ago. The county's been trying to circle with us to I guess, discuss, I'm not sure what, frankly, plans, maintenance schedules. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. So anyway, that's 10 o'clock tomorrow. And then I also received information from the Department of Public Services Director for the county that they are in receipt of Attorney Young's proposed amendments to the interlocal government agreement. Wait a minute, did I say that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
close enough.
Okay. They are in receipt of that, and they are still working on the edits. I didn't think it was that severe, but at least we know they have it.
May I just quick respond to him? You know, as we talked about, we know that we had to keep it as succinct as possible, or we would lose every opportunity. So there was just 2 or 3 of the main issues that were addressed. So hopefully we'll be able to resolve that.
Thank you. Moving on to the next page, there's my little portion about the EPA and the township. My latest report is from March 9th. I don't have any, if there's a new report that's been issued, I haven't seen it yet. So the latest report that I received, again, was a couple weeks back, and that's what you see in my report here. There's nothing new as far as I'm aware. And on the last page, we have those job postings that are referenced regarding the HR specialist and the part-time ordinance officer. Julie and I would like to start making calls to conduct some interviews soon as next week for the HR finance position. And then, of course, regarding the labor negotiations with the unions, one of these is on the agenda today. 2 more will be discussed during closed session. I can say that those discussions have been going very smoothly. Anybody have any questions for me?
Sure, I got a question.
Oh, I have one more item. Let me mention it? Okay. Trustee Rush asked earlier about the Willow Road water main replacement project. I have submitted that to Representative Reggie Miller's office for an appropriation, $3.3 million. And I have been notified that I may be called to testify before Congress, in this case, state level, about the project. So I am preparing a write-up, having discussed this with the engineers. So in case I'm called to go up to Lansing, I would like one of the engineers to go with me. But there's no guarantee of that. And I'm told that when they ask you to appear, it's usually, they give you a short notice, a short window, like 4 or 5 days. So I'm at the ready if this happens. And while we talked about this project going out for a bond, that's sort of the plan, but if we could get an appropriation, that might alleviate the need to do that. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Patterson, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, no worries. Got it written down so I wouldn't forget. So you said on the motion to accept the township manager report that we would be moving forward then with asking our ordinance to be updated to approve spots in the township for a data center?
No, just adding standards and requirements to the ordinance. You'd still all have to vote on the ordinance.
Right. Yeah.
I just want them to move forward with it, that's all. And there's some dollars that would be attached to that. It would be, whatever their fees are.
That's just been a hot topic issue from everything. I've heard, like, even west of us, we were just talking about it before, the citizens are up in arms. Van Buren, they didn't want it, they're still approving it, so it's just a massive problem. I thought we had talked about, like, having the planning commission look into putting a moratorium on it, just basically saying, like, we like to give ourselves time to think about it, because once they're at the door knocking, and we say no, because we gotta think about it or something like that, then we can expose ourselves to liability, I believe, I don't know, so.
Sure.
We,
I could add to
the
that.
planners and I and Mr. Young had discussed the idea of a moratorium. And the concern is that if you call a moratorium, it sounds like there's something in the background waiting to come up. And I don't want to present that impression to anybody. We haven't heard a thing about this yet, as far as this township goes. That's why I think now would be a good time to amend the ordinance as necessary. And again, that would go through public hearing, planning commission review, board review, be thoroughly vetted prior to any updates. Do you have anything to say about that, Rob? Any ideas?
Well, we don't have anything in our zoning that deals with specific data center. And so if you get presented with a data center development, then you gotta look around and figure out where it squeezes in, and it's just confusing. All we're doing is defining data center, what it means, and we're defining what the requirements would be in location, where it would be situated, for example, industrial, or if it is in agricultural, there would be many, many requirements, setbacks, utilities, all those kind of things.
Screening.
Screening, yeah, you don't want somebody to come in and say, you guys don't have anything in your ordinance that reflects this, so it's exclusionary zoning, and then they're off to the races. So this actually, in a bizarre way, tightens up our ability to defend those kind of things if it comes. It doesn't sound like that, but by having that in place, then at least we can control the elements that are looked at if there is a proposal. We can't prevent anybody from proposing, but we can at least have criteria setting forth the requirements before it happens.
Sure. And I think our planner has already drafted the moratorium language, if I'm not mistaken.
He did, and a lot of the communities that impose moratoriums usually are imposed at the point of somebody submitting. And you say, well, that's kind of after the fact, isn't it? Well, not necessarily, because why would a community spend a lot of time to look into this? I mean, it's very in-depth. You know, Supervisor Martin had, Township Manager Martin had gone to these seminars, so to speak, to get information, and I get every day something by way of a report or an indication as to what to look at. It's very extensive. Some of these are turned out to be very good, some of them not. It just depends on a number of circumstances. All we're trying to do is just start the process moving forward. It'll take on a different course if something is presented. It'll even take on a different course as we move forward, just the more information that we can gather and the better we come in touch with the terms that are required to protect any kind of a development, the township against any kind of a development like
Right,
this.
and I think, and I gotta go back to my memory, but I think the planning commission directed the planner to look at the ordinance already. There is a section that actually says data center in our ordinance, and he interpreted it as a small, like in a downtown business district, and we had decided that, we wanted that reviewed because we didn't want some, any misconstruction there that, you say you can have a data center, right? And there's no description of it, there's nothing else, so, we have kind of pushed that forward, so, I'm glad that, we're gonna be getting more on it, but the planning commission has directed the planner to do that. He told me he did get the moratorium, language drafted. I haven't read it yet, but, I think we need to, get that moving, sooner than later.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, just for our residents, because we have residents that are concerned, they're calling, they're emailing, they wanna know, do we have anything prohibiting them, do we have anything regulating them, and, we wanna be able to say yes, and we're actively working on it, which we are.
Township Martin has also instituted a review of all the ordinances, just try to update all of those, and there's a number working on that, which you'll get in the future, which will incorporate that which you're talking about also. So there's a number of things we're looking at.
Good.
Chair, if I may? Yeah, Ken, going back to the Willow Road infrastructure water line project, we've got something in at the state level with Reggie Miller. Have we followed up? I'm still waiting to hear back from Senator Camilleri. He could probably help here at the state level. I think let's spread our eggs around a little bit, so to speak. We need to apply with Dingell's office too, and maybe go after federal funds.
We have. I just haven't heard back yet.
Okay, so that has occurred? Great.
I'm only reporting stuff that actually has happened.
Yes, and I think, and correct me if the number's wrong, we had a plan of a project of around 9 million. We submitted 3 to the state because that was where, the number they thought they could work with, and so there are other projects out there that I know Township Manager Martin is, soliciting funds for, so.
Yeah, and just to close, the reason I bring that up, we just got through paying off bonds, and now we're thinking about going out some more, and it's, boy, if we could land something at the state or federal level, it would be a big blessing.
It would.
Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Dan. Treasurer's report, Patterson.
Nope.
Oh.
Motion to approve.
Oh,
I'll make a motion to approve the TM's report.
he looked at me like he was done, so.
I'll support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Okay, treasurer's report, Patterson.
Just briefly, board, you all have that in front of you, the treasurer's report. There's just, if you notice on the tax fund, there's about a $5 million decrease in it. That's because of the money we paid out in taxes that we collected to the county and all. So, just with that, just ask for receipt and file of the treasurer's report.
So moved. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Moving on, new business.
Board response.
We have board response. I would have something to add.
Oh,
He's trying to move right past that.
I'm trying to get that.
This actually would be an easy one. This actually would be
Another
an
hot
easy one. I just wanted to reverse back to our amended budget and our original budget. Those items were not put in the lower part of our new business. They were listed under the finance report, so I'd like to ask if we could amend the budget and add item J and K, which were item A and B under the finance director's report, and we would just tackle those as we go through the new business agenda.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried.
Chair, I have something additional too, and it may not go anywhere, but it's just something I gotta be open to the public on it. So I don't know where this would be, if we can, should we add it as an agenda item? I would just like to make a motion that we pause the supervisor's office remodel until a review of the project can be done by an independent party to confirm the township is being charged fairly by regional market averages.
We came up with that. Wow.
Well, we need a motion.
I made the motion. If it goes nowhere, it goes nowhere.
So you wanna have a roll call vote?
So no, motion fails for lack of support, unless there's a support.
Okay, lack of support. Okay, well, now we're moving on to new business. Finally,
Thanks, board.
yeah. Okay. Notice of, that Sumpter Township, Supervisor Tim Bowman is calling for a special meeting of the Township Board of Trustees for 6 p.m. Friday, April 10th, 2026, for the purpose of discussing the condition of county roads. Said the meeting is to follow the town hall format, which the public is invited to voice opinion.
So moved.
Support, and I've got a question.
All in favor?
Wait a minute, I got a comment. Discussion.
Okay, let's have a discussion, yeah.
Yeah. Rob, if we're calling a board meeting,
It's not a board meeting, it's a town hall meeting.
yeah, but we're gonna have a quorum.
It's a meeting of the township board.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay, so what
Is there any, that is fine, we can do that?
yeah, you could
Okay.
call I mean, it would be like a board meeting, I mean, the
The same,
same, you would just,
Yeah,
I
I just
assume
wanna
it's
make
here,
sure
yeah.
there's no
yeah.
legal
It's like a
things said.
special board, it's a special meeting, he says there, calling a special meeting of the Township Board of Trustees at 6 p.m. on Friday. So Samantha would know to treat it as such, and it would get on our website and sent to the press or whatever it is that she has to do, so. April 10th is plenty of time to get all that done. The only issue would be to have your public town hall meeting to discuss the roads and take input, I assume, I'm assuming
yeah,
what you
that's
wanna
what it's
do.
all about, I wanna hear the hardship, I want firsthand from the people of Sumter Township about the roads in Sumter Township. I've lived on what they call a gravel road in Sumter Township for 37 years. It's not a gravel road, it's a dirt road. Every time it rains, they come, they do their little thing, and then it rains, and they're right back to it. I mean, it beats your guts out. You wake up every morning, you get, I'm a contractor, I load my trailer up, let's go, boys, and then here it is. All the way it takes me 10, 15 minutes to get to pavement. And, not only that, it's every time, honey, I need a gallon of milk. Do I really want a glass of milk that bad to beat my guts out again to go to the store? I mean, it destroys everything you own. I want to hear the people from Sumpter Township. I want to get them behind me to go, for lack of better words, after Wayne County. We've declared a public emergency and have seen little or nothing. They act like when they come out and grade a road that they've done something. The roads are way past that point, okay? Way past it. I've mentioned this a dozen times if I've mentioned it once. I had my 91-year-old mother, just turned 91 the other day, laying on the floor waiting for an ambulance, waiting for chief's guys, waiting for the fire department to get there for an hour and 10 minutes bleeding out on a pillow because they could not get down the road, the back roads in Sumpter Township. My mother could have bled to death there laying on that floor. Once they loaded her on the gurney, was getting her out of the house, we picked up the pillow and it weighed every bit of 10 pounds from my mother laying there bleeding for an hour and a half. It took 45 minutes for the fire department to get there. Beth said it took her over 35, 40 minutes to get there from Sumpter Road to Carr Road because she couldn't get down the roads. I mean, the roads are way past coming out and just grading the road. Okay, what do you enjoy that, for a day, 2 days, a week? until it rains the next time, you're right back in the same situation. You know, the roads need to be revamped, and they need to put gravel down on the roads, they need to put a crown in the roads, they need to do something they haven't done in 35 years, they need to clean the ditches out beside the roads, so the water drains properly off the road, don't lay on the road, and every spring we have to deal with the same thing. Even in the summertime, the middle of the summer, beautiful weather, it comes a big rain, it rains for a day or two. Right back to misery. I mean, I'm fed up with it. I don't mean to vent like that, but I'm done with it, you know. We pay taxes to Wayne County. We pay a lot of taxes. Some people pay dearly in taxes. For what? You know, to run up and down your road, maybe, my road hasn't been done in a month, 2 months, probably 2 months. They went up and down at one time, then it rained the next day, and it's right back to what it is. And you go out on a weekend with the wife, you go out on a little trip or something, you come home, you know, you're having a good time all weekend, and then you have to get home, you know? Oh, let's go to the store, let's go out to eat. Why don't you just fix them? I don't feel like going down the road and get my guts jarred out. You know, it's just a hardship that everybody shouldn't have to deal with.
Chair?
Well, let me, I still technically have the floor. Tim, I'm not opposed to this. I just wanted confirmation from the attorney that everything's cool.
I don't care who's opposed to it, who's not opposed to it.
Yeah, I want to see this myself.
I just want to know, did you invite Alan Wilson?
No, but I thought about that. I was thinking about that today when I opened my wallet and seen his smiling face on the card in my wallet.
I would definitely make sure that somebody gives him an invite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that might be a good idea.
I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, you know, the improvements in the roads in Sumpter have been sparse. And in the last 35 years, and this is numbers from the county, because I asked Mr. Wilson to provide it, we've got 61 miles of dirt road in Sumpter Township. They've only paved 1.3 in over 35 years. Mm-hmm. 2% of the roads.
Did nothing, Matt,
And
to the
they've done
ditches.
and have done, well, the ditches too, but have done nothing to improve the roads. They're doing the same thing over and over. My concern right now for the meeting is we need to set the format. Is this gonna be a sign up public comment and then they have to come
I
in?
want to register. I think Ken's gonna help me
Yeah.
out. We're gonna make up, where they can sign in.
Yeah.
And, I want the meeting recorded. I want to be able to hear these people, both then and afterwards, of their hardships, about these back roads. Cause, you know, it's a different way of life, you know, when, God bless it, but when you say country living at the finest, that's bull crap, you know? What makes it so country living at its finest? When you gotta beat your guts out, destroy everything you own because you live on a so-called gravel road.
Nope.
That's
Yeah, I
not
agree.
country living to
Yeah,
its finest
I
to me.
agree. I just wanna make sure we have the format, because a lot of times town halls are, you know, people just yelling out from the audience
No,
questions.
no.
I wanna make sure that people know coming that it's gonna be organized, you'll get up and speak at
You
the
got
podium.
3 minutes to tell us of your hardship. We want to do things right, but I want to hear from the people, you know? I guarantee there'll be a lot of people show up that they just call Wayne County constantly. They get the same old thing. We don't have the help. We only have one grader, so on and so forth. Well, then, what if we is to tell them, we're not paying taxes no more until you fix the roads, you know? How would they like that?
We do need to give him a formal invite, but I did let Alan Wilson know about it, Commissioner Wilson, because I was sending him a picture of Willis Road between Martinsville and Haggerty that was almost impassable. Last week for my planning commission, I had to go down there to look at a property before the meeting, and, it was almost impassable. And it had been dry for a week. I mean, there was no reason for that to be
The roads are,
complete mud pie.
my daughter made a video of going down Judd Road, was it a month or?
Judd Road.
Judd Road,
Went
yeah.
viral.
It went viral. It just passed 2 million hits,
She's at 2 million views.
2 million views. I mean, I'm just over it, man. We deserve a better quality of life, you know?
Sure. So, I can't agree with you more on your assessment of the roads. My question, well, first of all, I don't know if you know this or not, I think I mentioned to you outside before, is that April 18th is a date that Alan Wilson said he's been trying to get together with Van Buren for a tri-community, Van Buren Township, Sumpter Township, Van Buren, Huron Township, for a venue that could house up to like 500 people. And they're gonna have Wayne County executives come and everything like that.
That's fine.
So-
Well, I want Sumpter Township to have a venue.
Well,
And
that's
we-
fine, yeah,
yeah.
but I guess what my question is that you said the goal is to get them behind you, to get them behind us, to
Right.
go after Wayne County. How?
How?
Yeah,
Whatever means it takes.
Like,
File a lawsuit if it takes it.
okay, like,
I'm done with it, Bart.
Okay.
I don't think, you live on, God bless you, love you, but you live on a paved road, Bart. You don't know what we go through. You have to
Right.
live on those gravel
I have
roads
lived on
to
dirt
know
roads,
what
I
you go
understand.
through,
Yes.
okay? You have to live there. You
Okay.
have to deal with it every day on a daily basis. When your 90-year-old mother can't go to the doctor because the roads are too rough, when she can't get out and enjoy herself, you know? You have to live on those roads to realize the hardship of them.
that's why I'm asking, is the purpose to get the public whipped up to file a lawsuit collectively? Sumter Township suing Wayne County, is that the goal?
If it goes to that, I would hope it wouldn't go to that. I hope we can agree upon something, but I don't want a maintenance agreement, okay? Because what they do now doesn't work. The roads are way past that, Bart. They haven't.
I agree. I agree with you
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
But I don't know what the goal is. If the goal is to, are we going to form a picket line? Are we trying to get volunteers to
That's
go
what
down
it
and
takes.
march around? Are you looking for suggestions from the residents as to what we can do to help them?
No, I want to hear
what's the
firsthand
goal?
from the residents what the hardships that they go through. And I'm sure everybody will have a different story, you know?
Right.
They're not physical hardships, financial hardships, you know? You know, a lot of people, Bart, that don't have the money like some of us do to fix their car every time their buffer falls off or your tie rod in, you know, shocks go bad from these roads, you know? It just takes away from your actual.
I'm just trying to understand what the goal is, other than the residents coming, which we know they are upset, we are upset, they're upset, rather than the goal is us go like, thank you for coming out, yes, we agree with you. What is the goal?
Thanks for coming out. Yes, we agree with you. And we'll have their contact information, hopefully. They'll have their phone numbers, their names, their addresses. We'll ask if it does come to going downtown and picketing, if it does result in a lawsuit, if we could include you in you know, we'll have the people's information to move forward.
Ask them to be a part of a lawsuit
Not-
with us, if need be, or?
Yeah, absolutely. They're the ones paying the taxes on the road, not us, you know.
Chair? If I may too, I mean, this is just completely out of control with Wayne County. I mean, they have the gall to ask us to pay $1 million
To pave
partial
their own
payment
road.
for Judd Road. It's their road, for Pete's sake. And what I'll do is, I haven't heard from Senator Camillari for a few days. Let me shoot him a text tonight. Maybe he'd be willing to come.
The more the merrier. I just want to hear firsthand from the citizens what's going on. I want their information. I want to know their hardships. These roads have been a hardship for the lifetime of them living in Sumpter Township. It
Sure.
it doesn't make any
So I
sense.
think when you did the emergency, or we did the emergency, that helped, because I had Channel 4 right at the end of my driveway.
Yeah,
And
but-
so what it did, it put heat on them, and they don't like this heat. So I think that having this is gonna be something good, because it's gonna be continued heat that they don't wanna hear about. And they
Yeah.
need to hear about it, because, yeah, we're neighbors with these guys around us, but they don't have nothing like we've got going on in our roads.
You go to
Nothing
Augusta
like what we've
Township,
got.
Bart, their roads consist of an entirely different material. Every
I
time.
agree with your assessment of the
Well, I'm
roads.
just
I think the
explaining.
roads are terrible too as well. I 100% agree.
Right, well, you talk about
Yes.
getting together with other townships.
Yeah.
Most likely, they're,
I'm not talking about, I'm telling you what
well, I'm just
John
saying,
Wilson said.
that
He's trying to get that collectively together
Washtenaw
where
County had
all
put
Wayne,
down a complete
all
different
all
material
Wayne
on
County
the road.
executives are gonna be at that event.
good.
they,
Can't
they
wait.
can hear, like, if we don't have them here, like, we're having one that you're proposing, like, 7-8 days before another one down there.
Doesn't
Yeah,
mean we
well,
can't
let's
go to
have
that
two
one.
then.
Right,
We
yeah.
can still go to that one, but we need some heat here because
Yeah.
there again, it seems like the other communities get a little more of the back scratching than we get. It just does. Now, maybe I'm
Absolutely.
totally wrong, but our roads, we probably have more than anybody else.
That's,
And
and
they're
I
in the
just say
worst
that,
shape
we have the
than
most in Wayne
anybody
County.
else. You know, my road down here, they brought a dump truck down and scraped the dirt off to where it filled in the holes. The next day it rained and those holes were backing it with water. Now, they did come by today and do it with a grader and they did a fine job today.
But how long will that last,
I don't know, but the thing
Till
is,
next rain.
so I'm getting into my personal life, I've got a car for my girlfriend to drive because she wrecked hers. We're afraid to take it out on the road because we don't want it to lose its muffler in the shape that the road is, so it's sitting in my yard. We wouldn't even use it. Now it's a little bit smoother, we're probably gonna go ahead and use it. But that's how bad they are. We're afraid to get on the road with a car because we're afraid to rip the muffler off because they're this deep. And there's thousands of them. There's not 10 or 12, there's thousands of those holes on Clay Road.
It jars your guts out. Every morning, I gotta look forward to loading a trailer up that I organized for a specific job. I put this here, I put that there, I put that on the wall, I put this in the floor right here. I load this up, I load that up. Sometimes materials that cost me thousands of dollars. Then I gotta pull out of my paved driveway and pull onto, get off a car road somehow. By the time I get to the job or Willis Road, everything's rearranged. So now I'm paying more money for the guys, hey, find that, we put that there early this morning. Or take that back to Home Depot because that countertop's trash now. It just goes on and on and on.
It'll be a good thing.
But anyways,
You got a motion? Motion.
Got one more discussion.
With the board's permission, I think we should invite the news media.
Exactly.
Invite down Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 7, the newspapers. I mean, I think if we're trying to get traction, that's gonna be the best way to do it. And, I mean, I watch the news, I see them go to their town hall meetings. I think it'd be great to have them here.
yeah, I agree. I agree,
Good.
yep.
Got a motion and a second, Tim.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Okay,
B, you're on B.
pardon me?
You're on B.
Yeah, I know. B, consider approval of the registration of the resignation of Nicole Van Ash as chair of the Parks and Recreation Committee with regrets. This was approved at the March 16th meeting, 16th, 2026 P&R Committee at the meeting.
So moved with regrets.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. C, consider approval of the following Park and Recreation Committee assignments: Mary Ann Rowland to chair, Anita Honey to co-chair, Michelle Ballham to secretary, and the treasurer position open at this time.
So moved.
Support, but
Discussion?
discussion real quick, if we could. And I apologize, Mr. Rush, I didn't get with you. At the meeting that we were at, we talked about in the treasurer position open at this time, was that they weren't gonna have a
There's
treasurer
no need
position.
for a treasurer right now.
Right, so maybe if
So,
that and the
it-
treasurer position just should scratched out then.
And we're actively trying to recruit, I'd like to see at least one more voting committee member, because, if we get one or two that are gone, we don't have a quorum. No meeting.
So
So-
if we made the motion, would they be willing to strike and the treasurer position open at this time?
So motion and support.
We amend the motion?
I didn't say, I didn't second it or anything.
I think you made the motion. Oh,
Okay.
fresh.
I'll amend the motion
Okay.
to strike out treasurer position.
So we have support. All in favor?
All right,
Nays? Motion carried. Okay, moving on. D, consider approval of resolution approving and adopting the 2025 Wayne County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
So moved?
Support?
All in favor?
aye.
Nays? Motion carried. E, consider approval to Acrisure MTPP liability-related insurance coverage effective April 1st, 2026, annual cost of $200,444.
Chair, I'll make the motion, but open it up for discussion. This total includes the cyber piece, and I wasn't sure if we had the cyber piece in our current, or if we were gonna be adding the cyber insurance.
Without the cyber part is 195,098, is that correct?
Okay, so,
Let's amend it to that.
well, Deputy Clerk has reminded us that it is in the current policy, so it's just a renewal of the existing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure, so the amount is correct. I just want to make sure we knew that it included the cyber part of that also for
I'll
this year.
support that motion.
Okay, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. F, consider approval to seek requests for proposals, RFPs, for exterior infrastructure repair to the police department, community center, DPW building, and library as determined needed. Included repairs outlined in the RFP will include brick replacement, mortar replacement, tuck pointing, repairing, replacing the damaged concrete, window ledges, sills, and porches, ramps are required.
So moved.
Support.
Chair, if I may, just some discussion on that too, is I think, we talked about this before. Is there, could we make like an additional motion, because I know you talked about RFPs are gonna come back with spec sheets and like that, would you be opposed to adding this, I know this is your agenda item, Mr. Frazier, but the RFP, spec sheet to be approved by the board too before we go out?
I would be fine with that.
If anybody could modify that too.
I'll modify my support.
We got a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. G, consider approval to seek requests for proposals, RFPs, for exterior infrastructure improvements to the police department, community center, DPW building, and library. Included improvements outlined in the RFP will be for new steel siding, fascia trim, soffits, and gutters.
So moved.
Support.
All
Chair,
in favor?
again, quick discussion on that too, if we could additionally add that too, as far as the RFP spreadsheet to be approved by the board. Also, I'd also like to see add, and I think we talked about this before too, it says new steel siding, like we're only approving for steel siding. I would like to see vinyl too as well. It doesn't mention about aluminum soffits, aluminum gutters, aluminum fascia trim, or anything like that. So if we could have new steel or vinyl siding.
No,
and
we don't want
aluminum
vinyl. You look at the DPW building,
fascia. Yeah,
that's why you don't want vinyl.
yeah, that's the cheapest builder grade siding out there.
Yeah, well, vinyl won't work.
Okay, well,
No,
that's what I would like to see on there. Like
Vinyl?
a heavy grade vinyl,
no,
Doesn't have to get it.
well,
no.
Yep. Chair, I think, it doesn't hurt to get a quote, doesn't mean we'd have a choice between steel or vinyl when it finally comes through.
are you talking about steel gutters?
Pardon me?
Talking about steel gutters too?
It'd be most likely aluminum gutters.
Well, it doesn't say that. I'm saying steel or aluminum.
Okay.
Just add the
All right.
or aluminum.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but I'm
Or
just saying.
steel or
I was
vinyl.
just saying, you wouldn't wanna put vinyl on a commercial building.
Steel
Doesn't
or
make any
aluminum
sense.
siding, steel or vinyl siding, whatever the case, not vinyl siding, vinyl.
I don't see
aluminum
why
siding.
we'd even discuss the price difference over the longevity of steel versus vinyl.
Yeah, look at the size of the
Yeah, when you're talking about
DPW building, how
150,000
terrible
versus
the
400,000,
vinyl
that's
is.
a big price
Yeah, and you
difference.
have to replace it 10 years later.
How old is that over there? The
Huh?
cheapest builder grade, that's like 30-year-old. I
Okay,
understand,
well,
I
I'm
used
not
to
gonna
put,
argue
I
with
used
you.
to put
I'm
on
not gonna-
siding, so I know
Yeah.
that there's differences in grades out there, sir, so.
Yeah, well, there's one thing for sure, that it's still vinyl.
All vinyls are not created equally. I think you know that.
It's still vinyl. It's not, there's a
Right.
difference between vinyl, I'm not gonna argue with you.
What are you proposing to put in your office? Steel flooring?
Yeah,
No, so.
stainless
So-
steel.
So are we amending it to say or vinyl and also on the gutters, or what are we doing? So I know we had the request to amend the motion.
Mr. Frazier's,
It's Jim's,
agenda.
Jim's,
Why don't you go ahead and get both prices, and then we'll vote on them. Why don't you-
I'll
Yeah.
amend it to draft up RFP for either steel or vinyl siding.
and aluminum gutters, yep. I'll support that.
Okay, so we got, motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. H, consider approvals for special land use review for 25891 Sumpter Road site. No support there. Moving on. I, consider approval for collective bargaining agreement with Sumpter Township for rental order of police labor and council from 4/1/2026 through 3/31/30.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll
Nay.
support that.
Chair, if we could do that with a roll call vote?
Yeah.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
So moved with the roll call.
We can do that. Bowman, yes. Laporte, excused. Patterson,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Rush,
Yes.
Honey.
Yes.
Okay, and you got the
Closed
verbiage,
session.
No, we got J and K.
you got the verbiage for J and K?
Yeah, it's right on the front of the,
J is, consider approval of the fiscal year 2025 to 2026 final budget amendment.
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried.
Next one,
K.
K is consider approval of fiscal year 2026 to 2027 original budget adoption.
So moved.
Motion and support.
Support.
Chair, I'd like to have some additional discussion on that. In light of the approval of the going out for bids, our current budget does not include those estimates. And I just want to point out that if we add those estimates in, we will be depleting our available cash over 50% this year with all the expenditures that we're putting out there, which I think is a very, I think we need to reconsider what we're spending this year altogether. But I agree that the buildings need to be done. I think that's top priority to, get those things secured, get them, the moisture and all the barriers and things back in place. But with all the things that we have in the budget, this is projected to be anywhere from 300 to 600,000. That's gonna take us to potentially 2.3 million in the red, right? Because we won't have a balanced budget by 2.3 million. We're gonna be spending that much more than what we're taking in this year. And, I think that's something we ought to consider, whether we have to remove something, to get us back down potentially, but it's hard for me to consider approving a budget that's gonna deplete our available cash by over 50%.
Are these improvements in the budget, you're saying?
They're not.
Okay.
The 300,000 to 600,000 is not in the current budget.
Right, so we can still approve the budget. If we're approving the budget, it's not in there, like we're,
No, but I mean, we're going out for bid, so I'm just saying it should be in the budget. If we're gonna go out for bid on something, it should be in our budget
Yeah.
that we're approving tonight if we're going out for bid tonight on, I would
well,
think.
we wouldn't be going out for bid, again, we'd be
Well, we're going out
actually
for RFP,
authorizing
yeah.
to get the spec sheet for the RFPs on both.
Yeah.
No, but there's some money already allocated for siding.
Yeah, I'm just making the point that we've already looked at a $1.7 million deficit. Now we'd be looking at close to $2.3 million deficit by approving, this without removing something else. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of, where we're at with, these additions.
Okay,
And I would like to see that be added to the budget, that we're approving tonight, those potential expenditures.
Okay.
We don't know what they are though.
We can estimate.
Yeah, somewhere between 150,000 and 600,000. So what do we put down?
600,000.
I mean,
When do we
you
get
could
the
put-
RFPs
We're talking
ready?
insane money again, Supervisor Bowman, insane money again.
Yeah, well, the longer you wait, till more it's gonna cost you, Bart. The place is
Yeah,
falling
if
apart.
we wait till next week, it'll be like $1 million then, right? That's
Maybe.
insane money. I don't know where you come up with this money
Yes.
at.
Just to let the public know, this is our siding that's falling off the building.
I
And
was wondering what that was.
so that is off of the buildings across the street. And in our report that the previous board had done, May 26th of 2023, it's one of the first things it says that our siding is dilapidated, it needs done. That is why I brought it to the board table. I want to go out and get these buildings sealed up, because the longer it waits, the more water is saturating the substructure, and we're gonna have mold growth, we're gonna have rot, it's gonna cost us more. So just so the public understands what we're going for and why we're talking this large amount of money, is to seal our buildings up, because we're not gonna ever, in the next 5 years, have $20 million to build a new set of buildings. You know, so we have to preserve what we have, right? So that's why we're going out for these bids and these RFPs.
That's the reason they're in the shape they
That-
are, because they
that
haven't
is
been
the wood,
taken care
that
of.
actually, I picked that up out of the parking lot, 6 months ago. And then when I was walking around the building a month ago with you, Mr. Bowman, there was multiple other pieces just coated in salt lying in the parking lot that had fallen off. So we're just trying to seal up the building before any more damage happens.
Yep, and, you know, I agree, we need to do that. I'm just making the point that we have to look at maybe cutting something else if we need to do that immediately to, you know, get these buildings together.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to go out and at least get everything set up to see what the exact price is gonna be either. Cause, you know, that's, if we wait to do that, you know, why not just get the language written up for the RFP?
Mr. Bowman, may I just raise one issue? Mr. Adi, I'm trying to understand, so as I understood the other proposals, what we were doing is just, they were gonna put the RFPs together and bring them back at the next board meeting. And then have a chance to, I mean, you don't even know what the numbers are until you send it out, right? So what's coming up at the next board meeting will be just what the language would be to send it out.
Yep.
We have one already, right, Ken?
We have a bid that was submitted. I mean, it's not, we haven't put anything out yet.
Right.
Yeah, no,
When I
I,
asked what that was?
What was it, Ken?
433,000.
433?
yeah, and I understand that, Rob. I mean,
Well,
we're
I'm
just
just
going
saying that
out
we
for
have a number
RP
here.
language, but it sounds like, you know, there's a propensity to wanna look at doing it because we need to seal our buildings. You know, I'm just saying if we're gonna be.
Again, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. What you're saying is the dollars drives the decision in everything that we do, of course. So I guess there is a number that came in, at least some idea as to what you're talking about.
Right. It was between 3 and up to 600, but we know the initial bid was around 430,
Yeah.
which, you know, if we moved on it, that would take our deficit to 2.1 million if it doesn't go to 6. So that's my concern.
Okay.
Well, is there a motion and
Yeah,
support on that?
more motion and support.
So you can call it.
Motion, we have a motion and,
Support on that issue.
okay.
I mean, there was Mr. Patterson had requested some additional information, and so did Mr. Adi.
Yeah, it was just under discussion. So I had asked that if we were gonna add, you know, if we added those amounts to the budget, we would need to consider, you know, reducing something.
So is that a
No way I would want to
motion?
propose that.
There's a motion and support, we just need
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
consensus.
All in
If there's
favor?
no, you know,
Aye.
if there's no,
Nays?
consensus to change the motion, then, you know, we would need to call for the vote. I think there should be a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Bowman, yes. Fraser,
Yes.
Audi,
No.
Honey,
Yes.
Rush,
Yes.
motion carried.
Patterson.
Patterson? Oh, God,
No.
I'm sorry. Motion carried. Okay, so the next thing is,
Close
closed session.
closed session, yeah. Go ahead and read it, please.
Okay. Pursuant to the MCL 15.268C, requests a closed session with the Sumpter Township Board of Trustees for the purpose of updating and discussing the strategy desired by the township as a preliminary negotiation with ASME, FOP, and COAM bargaining units.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay. Audi,
Yes.
Fraser,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Laporte excused. Bowman, yes. Rush,
Yes.
Honey,
Yes.
Okay, mics are live. I'll make a motion to come back in from closed session.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion
Chair,
carried.
Chair, I'll make a motion to direct the township manager and the attorney to move forward as directed in the closed session.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to have an emotion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried.
We are adjourned.